Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. So this pick your card reading is about what others appreciate about you, what others love about you. We have 3 groups to select from. Group number 1, whale energy. Number 2, golden egg. And the number 3 is the gazelle. Pause the video if you have to see which group you're resonating with. The timestamps are always in the description box below. Let's jump into the readings. Hello, group number 1. When it comes to what others love, what others appreciate about you, we have the whale energy coming out as a spirit animal. And with the whale coming out as a spirit animal, I get the feeling that you make other people feel safe. You make other people feel secure. There's something about your presence where you naturally give off this leader vibe as if you know exactly what to do. I get the kind of people that do well under pressure. So even if you're freaking out or panicking on the inside, other people aren't able to tell that you're freaking out or you're panicking, because I get the feeling that you might have this poker face about you. So even when you're terrified, you seem to look cool, calm, and collected. So for that, it causes other people to feel safe around you, just feel secure because of the way how you handle things. Also too, I'm getting for some of you having a big heart. You have a big heart and probably family oriented. But I get, like I said earlier with the whole poker face vibe, if someone doesn't know you personally, they might feel like you're super serious or super mean or not as caring as you are because your facial expression or just the way you carry yourself. I get a stoic vibe. Like I get someone who comes off a bit stoic. Someone who comes off to others maybe even seeming a bit cold, but you're a big teddy bear or a little teddy bear. You're someone who really cares about the people that you care about. And once people realize, like what I'm getting with this energy here is someone who would have like say Scorpio, Taurus on the AC, AC/DC, or even just the kind of energy where it's like you're slow to make friends because you take your time. But once someone is in your vault of trust, like, you know, once they're there, as long as they honor that and they don't betray that trust, it's like you're the best person to have on their side forever. Like they're good for life because you and them is cool, is what I'm getting with this energy here. So we have the spider, which comes out in the reversal position. And the spider is bringing us to the overall message. And it's interesting how all the cards here came out in the reversal position except for the hummingbird energy and the earthworm, which is the message guiding us moving forward. So when I look at the energies here of the cards, I get for you guys when it comes to say your life on a whole is you need more security and stability in your life. You need more planning and structure in your life. I get the kind of person where it's like with your kind nature, it's like you might find that you have a hard time saving or you have a hard time holding on to more money, more resources, more assets. Because even though to those who don't know you, you might seem a little bit cold or whatnot, like I said, you're like the most caring and loving person ever. So because of that, everyone around you is going to be good. Like the people that you mess with, the people that you care about, if you got it, they got it. So as long as you got it, no one needs for nothing. But I feel like the issue with that is that you got to put some away. You got to put some away, or even learn how to manage some that you put away to create more security and stability for yourself, to where you're not always in the position of needing to get more, or out and waiting. Because when it comes to this group here, you know, with the spider energy in the reversal position, the spider brings me up to a lack of preparation, a lack of organization. And this crocodile in the challenging position, it brings me to impulsiveness, not being patient enough. So I think of, like, say the person who, say, for example, someone started a business, and in the first month of the business, they made all this money. So they assume that this is what it's going to be like every single day. So they take a huge portion of the money and go buy their mama house. Let's say it was that kind of money. And they buy their mama house or whatever, and bought their siblings some other stuff. But then it's like next month come, and it's like, you didn't even make quarter of what you made last month. And already before we entered into the new month, you already made plans for the money that didn't even come yet. So it's like financially things just keep swinging from one extreme to the next, where 1 minute you got so much and the next minute it's like, damn, when is it coming? Where when that lump sum came in the first month, you know, maybe, you know, you held off on buying your mom the home, or maybe the kind of home you bought her, you know, probably it could have been smaller because she don't need all that space type of vibe. You know what I mean? But the first month when all that came in, that would have been a good time to kind of split it up, where it's like you put some aside in a savings to grow it to help your family more. You put some aside to take care of yourself in case if you need some extra money to pay your mortgage, your rent, or your whatevers. You know, you put some aside to invest. You know, you manage what you have. I feel like with this group, that's what you're missing. Is like everybody loves that you're caring, you're going to take care of everyone. You know, you're responsible. You wanting to be in charge, or naturally ending up in that position. Like people really love that about you, and how you seem emotionally stable and all. But at the same time, I'm getting looks are deceiving, meaning that yes, you are the loving person that people appreciate, but to others, to people on the outside, you might appear to have everything under control, when you might feel like you robbing Peter to pay Paul most days. I think of the kind of person where, say a family member needed to borrow some money, and they come to you, and instead of saying you ain't got it, you go and borrow it from someone else to give it to them. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting. It's like the person that always needs to be the hero, the person that needs to always be in charge. But this could cause your life to feel like you always anxious and stressed out. Feeling like you always anxious and stressed out because like it's like always one thing and the next is like, as you thought you climbed up out of one thing, it's now something else. But I feel like there's a pattern, there's a theme, like there's a pattern that you can learn from, and a theme here when it comes to, say, the responsibilities and things that you're taking on. I just get someone someone acting before they think. And that's where you want to create some kind of a system for you to protect yourself from that side of yourself. Like, you know, sometimes we have to be real with ourselves. And that's some realness that I had to come to realization with myself about certain aspects of myself, where it's like, okay, this is how I operate. This is my weakness. This is my strength. You know, if you're aware of your weaknesses, no one can use them against you. If you're aware of your strengths, you're unstoppable. And that's why self-awareness is a superpower. But when I look at, say, the hummingbird energy here, or even the deer energy here, that brings me to more impulsive energy and not fully allowing yourself to see things through and seeing the bigger picture. And with you guys, I also get the feeling how it's like some people might see you and think, oh, you're so serious, or oh, you are so distant, or think you're better, or whatever it is that they might think. With the deer energy here and just the energies on the board, people don't realize how friendly you are. This would remind me of someone that I know who has, like, say, Pluto on the ascendant, but they got their moon in Gemini. So it's like when you first see them, there's something intimidating about them. But if you could get past that look and you guys have a conversation, you'll realize that they're a big old clown, where the Pluto on the ascendant, Scorpio rising, will make them seem so fixed and so stern. But then just from the conversation, you realize that they're a social ass butterfly. And I feel like for you guys give me that vibe. With the earthworm energy here, you really need to protect yourself. You really need to protect yourself by creating more stability for yourself. And creating more stability for yourself goes back to better managing what it is that you have. Because for those of you who have families and children and things like that, I get the feeling of someone saying, I want to give my children everything. I want to give my children everything that they want, and this, that, and the next. But I think that's cute. But I think of how, a lot of us became independent in who we are because everything wasn't handed to us. We had to work for certain things. So it's funny how certain things work for us, but then we come and we do the opposite, which sometimes doesn't help any and actually makes things worse. So yeah, when it comes to group number 1, what people love about you, people love the fact that you're responsible. You make them feel safe, that you're a provider naturally. Even if you got to rob Peter to pay Paul, you're a provider. When it comes to, say, my message to you is to create more stability in your life. Learn how to be a better manager of your life so you don't have to work as hard. Group number 1, it was a pleasure doing this reading for you. If you'd like to book a reading with me or check out my weekly exclusive pick a card readings only available on Patreon, the links for that is in the description box below. Before you go anywhere, please let me know you're here by dropping me a red heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hello, group number 2. Group number 2, this is what others love about you. So group number 2, you guys selected the golden egg. And when it comes to, say, this message and what others love about you, I think others love the fact that you are someone who is easygoing to a certain extent. And not necessarily easygoing. I wouldn't say that fully easygoing, but yeah, easygoing to a certain extent. Easygoing is what's coming to mind, but I'm also thinking of the simple fact that you don't take yourself so seriously. People love that about you, that you don't take yourself so seriously. I get the vibe of someone who knows how to have a good time, but at the same time, I'm also picking up simplicity. There's something very simple about you, or simple about the way you present yourself, or simple about the way you conduct yourself. And when I say simple, I mean, I think of the person who's not that, will say, oh, he or she is not fussy. Meaning, like, they don't see the need to, like, put on a show or be extra when it comes to presentation and things like that. Like, you have a very laid back vibe about you, but the question is, are you fully like that, or is that only a part of you? Because I think of, like, say, some people where it's like their rising sign might be something flexible or mutable and laid back, but then when you get to know their moon, you realize that they're actually like something else. Like, you realize that, like, from their rising, I think of like a person's rising that disarms other people's insecurities, meaning a person might come off super chilled and laid back and whatnot because that's just how they've learned to present themselves, to not offend anyone or not wanting anyone to not like them. So they come off in a way that's likable, but then when you get to know them, you realize that they're a whole diva, or they're a whole something else And it's like, wait a minute, that's not what I signed up for. I kind of get the feeling that that might be the case with this group, where it's like who we see and who we get to know might not be the whole same person. And I feel like that's not because like you're out to deceive anyone or anything. I just get the feeling that I don't know, I get strong Libra vibe with this group. Libra vibe, number 9 vibe, mutable sign vibe, like Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius. Very mutable energy. I'm getting, you know, with the energies here of this group. But let's see what the other cards are saying. Okay, interesting. This is confirming more. Wow, these two energies together. Oh my God, they're like saying it all. So what are these two energies saying? So with the wolf, the fox and the scorpion, come on. The fox and the scorpion are very, I think of like psychology. Someone who is, you know, someone who got their PhD in psychology. And you probably didn't have to go and get it from school exactly. You probably got it from the streets, meaning that you've been through some things in life that taught you how to code switch, that taught you how to show up and get whatever it is that you needed in the situation. Because I think of like the fox energy and how it came out in the upright position. And I always go back to like a story I heard about like when hunters would go hunting foxes, they would pretty much create a trail for the hunters to track, but then walk backwards in the trail. So while you're going in one direction and thinking that's where they are, like they're long gone. So I feel like when it comes to this group, like people like that, you seem all chilled and whatnot. Ooh, number 9 energy is what I'm getting also from this group, chameleon vibe. Whereas like people will swear up and down you're one thing, and then before they realize like who you are exactly, it's like you're long gone. Like you don't rock them to sleep. And that's like the lower vibration, if that's the case. Where in other cases, someone is not necessarily trying to rock anyone to sleep or get a wool over or anything like that. But the wolf energy and the scorpion energy there, I get that you are very cautious. You are someone who is very cautious when it comes to how you deal with people. I'm also too getting like Aquarian energy also here, where it's like just very cautious about how one deals with people, to the point that you realize in life it's probably easier to give people whatever they think they want. Meaning, oh, they think they, you know, give people what they think they want. I think of the perfect salesperson, or just a person who, like I said, understands psychology and know how to maneuver in the presence of others. When it comes to, say, challenges, though, we have the scorpion energy. And with the scorpion energy showing up in challenges, I feel like the challenges for this group might be a lack of structure and order in your life, because I go over to the bear energy, and the bear bringing me to seasons and cycles. And I feel like when it comes to this group, like, a lack of structure when it comes to planning and organizing your life, because hands down, more than anything, you want to be free. So when I look at this energy here, the energy here would give me a combination of someone who has a combination of Libra and Scorpio energy. And when I say Libra and Scorpio energy, or Venus and Pluto energy, where there's something about you that is magnetic and you attract people and they want to get close. But then that scorpionic Pluto energy will not let them in. So this could create vibes sometimes where people low-key resent you, or they are obsessed with you type of vibe, because you're magnetic and there's something about you that pulls them in. There's something about them that makes them feel seen. Something about you that validates them and makes them feel seen. And I feel like it comes down to, like I said, about your presence, where there's something about your presence and the way that you conduct yourself that allows other people to shine, allow it to be about them type of vibe. So something about you makes other people feel seen, and they think that, oh, they love you so much or they like you so much because of you, but really they like that you make them feel seen. And of course, they're going to want to be closer to you because not because I like you so much, but I like how you make me feel. Not realizing that a connection wasn't built here on reciprocity. It's just one-sided. You're creating an environment, you're creating a feel, and they're benefiting from it. But at the same time, it's like also you too have to reflect, because moving forward, the swan energy here deals with reflection, because you could find yourself sometimes feeling like, oh, people are one-sided, people are this, people are that, but reflect on how you're showing up, because you might continue to show up in a way that says that, you know, this is how I am. It doesn't need to be about me. I'll serve you. I'll pleasure you. It's all about you, you. When in all reality, that's not the case. So with the Scorpion in this challenging position, to me, power might be something that you don't realize that's a challenge, the need to be in control. I think about those of us who are part of the Pluto and Libra generation. And being part of the Pluto and Libra generation, more than likely, our perception of relationships coming up, whether it was through the movies or our family or whatever, said that you needed to have control in relationships, because if not, things, you know, you could lose control if you didn't have control over your relationship or how you relate and connect to others. So I feel like because of that, a lot of us could find ourselves being very controlling and demanding in relationships and feeling like this is normal or this is the way it's supposed to be, when in all reality, like, the only thing can come from showing up to a connection like that is taking home a manipulator, or someone with absolutely no backbone that you won't respect when it's all said and done. You know, is what I think of when I think of the Pluto Scorpio generation energy, or even the Scorpion energy in the challenging position, because a manipulator is someone that's going to pretend to be exactly what you need because they have something they want. So at the end of the day, you don't get what you thought you were getting anyways. And the reason why you would attract a manipulator or someone with no backbone is because if you're so controlling over the connections and the interactions, those are the only two people that will pass through. Where someone who is confident within themselves is not going to put up with that. They're going to say, deuces, I'm out. Where the manipulator who knows what they want, they'll know how to play the game they get in. And the person who's spineless will allow anybody to just treat them like that. And eventually the spineless person, you won't respect them anyway. And the manipulator, eventually, you know, they'll get what they want and then start showing their true colors anyway. Or you all start having power struggles when their real mask slips. But at the end of the day, freedom is what you want more than anything. And I think it's very possible for you to show up, be your true self, make authentic connections, and be free. But yeah, what people like about you, people love how you make them feel. Even though they think that, oh, I love you, they love how you make them feel. Because when it comes to this group, I just get a Venusian vibe. It's like someone knowing how to set up a scene, someone knowing how to romance others. And romancing others, for me, like, I remember being in the salon. I love creating an environment where the place looked really good. It smelled really good. And the client comes in and everything is organized and there's good music playing to set the vibe of the service that they're about, you know, to set the vibe. We're about to spend time together. And the whole conversation, the wash, the blow dry, like it's a vibe. It's a vibe. And when it comes to, you know, this group, like, you guys know how to create a vibe. You're a vibe. You know how to set a vibe. You know how to create a vibe. And for that, people love how you make them feel. People feel empowered in your presence. Doesn't mean that you always feel seen in their presence, though. Most of the time, you probably don't feel seen because, and then you can't blame them. But a part of you might feel like if they saw me, they wouldn't be interested in me, but they're interested in what I present for them to see. So I get that, but I guess there's a difference when it's work and building real connections, and that's where you gotta show, you know, allow people to truly see you. But it's interesting when we build connections through work, because for me, those were the connections that I tried to avoid building, because it's like, you know, if you're meeting me through work, you're really liking me because I'm catering to you. Where, like, yes, that's a part of my personality, but in a real connection, I'm gonna want reciprocity. And they've been spoiled and trained, you know, to think that things are only one way. But then you have certain people who will want to create that, you know, two-way connection with you if you create the boundaries you know, and allow for that to happen, opposed to just shutting it down or shutting it out completely. Group number 2, it was a pleasure sharing this message with you. If you'd like to book a reading with me, the link for that is in the description box below, along with the link to check out my Patreon, where I drop weekly pick a card readings. Before you go anywhere, please let me know you're here with me by dropping me a orange heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hello, group number 3. Group number 3, you guys selected the gazelle energy, and this is what others love about you. When I got to your energy, I felt like smiling, because I'm not sure what I'm picking up. Like, I feel like people love that you're very unpredictable, meaning that the way you look and the way you sound might not match. The way you look and the way you come off might not match. Or like, say for some of you, like I get someone who has like it's like there's something about being timid and slightly anxious, and because of it, it might make you come off a little bit quirky or weird or different. But all in good ways that people like about you. Like, I'm thinking of this young lady on YouTube who's like very like famous. I think her name is like Nicole, like her channel's like Nicole TV or something. I'm not that familiar with her, but I've come across her videos, and she's really petite or slim and dark skinned, and she be doing the most random things that you would think that would make a person embarrassed. And like, it makes people like her more, where it's like, I remember seeing a clip where she went to school when she was in school before she graduated, with her hair in an itty bitty ponytail. So it's like she doesn't have a lot of hair at that time, based on what I saw in the video. And her ponytail is really, really tiny, or really, really skinny. Probably like 3 pencils together is the thickness of her ponytail. And she got her ponytail in and her hair sticking straight up and going to school like that. And of course, like, that's something that would be so embarrassing to other people. But she gets a kick out of making other people laugh at her expense. And I feel like when it comes to this group, all of you might not be to that extreme as how she is or how she would show up. But I get the feeling of someone who is very vulnerable, and someone who is okay with speaking about certain things about themselves that other people could relate to, but would feel too embarrassed to admit it to admit it out loud. I think about the rapper Cardi B, and how sometimes, like, I don't follow her a lot or anything to know a lot about her, but I know, like, coming across a clip of her here or there or whatever, she has a way of like speaking, like exposing things about herself that the average person wouldn't tell that truth. But then it makes people like her even more, because they see that she's human. So when it comes to you guys, you have these weird glitches is what's coming to mind. You have these weird glitches or these unique and interesting ways about yourself that causes other people to feel comfortable about themselves. Like, you make other people feel seen, and that's what people like about you. So all of your weirdness, or what you might consider to be weird, and how you embrace it, even if you're not really embracing it and you're pretending to embrace it, but something about how you embrace your uniqueness, people love that about you, because it helps them to love that about themselves. Where, say, someone like the young lady Nicole TV, you know, her ponytail being as thick as probably my middle finger, 3 pencils coming together and sticking straight up on the top of her head. And, you know, I think of someone who probably have a little bit more hair than her and felt insecure, but saw her come in and didn't mind being clowned about hers. And it makes them feel better about their situation, because they realize it's not even a big deal. or she got a few braids in her hair and then gets her wig snatched off, where she probably snatches her own wig off, and it's like, oh my God, she should be embarrassed. Her wig is snatched off, or she's twerking and she has a really, really flat butt. And nowadays, like, people make a big deal over that and thinking everybody, not everybody, but you know how it is, you know, but like, she embraces all of herself. She embraces things that people, you know, the world will want you to feel insecure about, embracing yourself. And she does that. And I feel like with you guys, that's what I'm getting. Even if you don't realize you do it, you do that. The only thing that I would say is make sure that you're not putting yourself down to make other people like you. Make sure that is not the case. And I think it's interesting how a lot of the times clowns, funny people are normally the ones hurting the most. Normally the ones hurting the most on the inside or whatever, but they smile even though they hurt, which is powerful, But I guess maybe that's their way of, like, you know, getting people to see them, like them, acknowledge them, because at the end of the day, we all want to be seen. But when it comes to, say, overall, we have the oyster energy. So there's something about you that's very patient. And then seeing the dragon come out at the end, you guys are very patient people. So I'm getting for you guys, like, at first I was a little bit worried, like, I hope that's not the case, where it's like you guys are, you know, putting yourself down at the expense of others, but I don't feel like that's the case here. I feel like you guys are very patient people. You know what it is that you want. You know what it is that you want for the most part. You're patient people. And with the hyena in the challenge position, to me, the challenge might be, the challenge with the hyena in that position. So in the upright position, I always see the hyena energy as one where it's aware of opportunities and possibilities that are present. And in the reversal position, to me, and in the challenging position, it's almost like, so it's like you're patient and you're I keep getting stuck. So I feel like, for the simple fact that I'm getting stuck and I'm drawing blank, is like you're patient, but at the same time too, there's a lack of clarity as far as what is next. So it's like, I think of the person who might have these nervous ways or parts of their personality, and it's like, it seems like it's a joke, but really, like, you probably don't know what to do. Like, I think of the person who might seem to ask a silly question and everybody will laugh and think they're being silly, but you was dead ass serious when you asked that question because you really didn't know. And like my science teacher had on the board in middle school, there's no such thing as a dumb question, but a dumb mistake. So there's nothing wrong with asking questions. But with the Cobra energy here, I get, you know, something about root chakra. Like, so when I'm looking at the cards coming out on the table, I remember my nephew used to read this book called the geeky, the nerdy, something there. I feel like when it comes to this group, like, the way you see yourself, or something about the way you see yourself, is like a lack of confidence or something like that. A lack of confidence, but at the same time, the way you play it out, you don't hide it. And for that, other people really find you to be funny or fun, or, like I said, something about you and the way you speak and the things you do ease other people's insecurities. Like, you making yours known makes other people feel comfortable with theirs. And when it comes to, say, in this life, like, what are you here? What do people love about you? Yeah, they like that you seem like you don't have it all figured out. And I mean, who does? Who has it all figured out? Like, we might have our plans and our goals. And like they say, while men is planning, God is wiping out. But you're clear, like, I don't have all the answers. I'm trying to figure it out. With the dragon energy here though, low-key you are guided, low-key you have wisdom and knowledge. But what I like about this group, it would kind of remind me of Virgo vibes in the sense that you don't have to be Virgo anything. But I like how Virgo energy is ruled by Mercury. So that means Virgo deals with the mind. It deals with information. So Virgo is always analyzing and trying to learn more. But because Virgo is the virgin, Virgo doesn't assume that it knows everything. It doesn't assume anything. And it's because of that, it's always open to learning more. So when it comes to this group, I get that vibe where it's like you're always open to learning more because you don't assume that you know everything, but you know a lot. You actually know a lot and have access to a lot. But for whatever reason, you don't trust what it is that you know. So I feel like the whole way how you come off has to do with a lack of trust. And you don't hide that you don't know, or that you're unsure, or you don't feel confident or secure. But it's a matter of learning to trust yourself, because with the starfish energy here in the reversal position, it brings me to letting go and trusting. I feel like when it comes to this group, you probably overlook or anticipate things so much to where you psych yourself out, or even experience unnecessary anxiety as you're like, experience unnecessary anxiety, anticipating what's next, and then you psych yourself out. But at least you're honest with yourself. Like, you're honest with yourself, you're honest with how you feel. And people really love the way how you make them feel like it's okay to be silly. It's okay to not have it all figured out. It's okay to not have all the answers. Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay to be me. When it comes to this group though, I get that you're very liked. There's something humble about you, or humbling about you when it comes to people and how people observe you. Something very innocent about you. It's like the way how you're honest about your views, or the way you feel, or the way you're honest about something. People find it to be very innocent, because I guess the average person would try to fix things up and tell a story or whatever. But you're very innocent in the sense that it's like, did you just say that? Did you just let everybody know that, like, I don't know, like, that you got a pimple, even though that's so silly. But did you just like point out your pimple or whatever? But it's not like you point it out because it's like, I have a pimple, feel sorry for me, or look at me. It's like someone's talking to you or whatever, and you're like, I really wanted to get my makeup done or whatever, but I don't want to put makeup on because my pimple is so huge and blah, 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 whatever. So I'm just going to let it out. Whereas like someone else would probably want to cover it up and hide it or whatever. Even though when it comes to doing makeup, I'm sure they have things. I'm not big on makeup, so I wouldn't know. So that probably wasn't the best example. But, or you might say, I don't want to wear that dress because right now this is what's going on with my body and it's not going to be flattering and da-da-da-da. And you're not saying it because you're trying to buy sympathy or whatever. It's just like you're like a child innocently speaking and stating the obvious as to why you're not doing something, where someone else would have been too ashamed and act like this thing isn't a thing because they're so insecure. Whereas like, even if you are insecure like the rest of us, you know, even if you are insecure like the rest of us, it's like you're aware of it and you don't try to hide it. You don't try to hide it. It's almost like very innocent. There's something very innocent about you. But at the same time, you're very patient and you're wise. But because you don't trust yourself, you don't realize how wise you are. Because you don't trust yourself, you don't realize how wise you actually are. And I guess people like that because like then you don't come off as a know-it-all. And, you know, people like to know that they can teach you something. And you don't come off like you're anyone's teacher. And for that, like you're teaching a lot of people a lot, because whenever we come off like I'm about to teach you something, it forces people's walls to go all the way up, because no one wants to be sold. Everybody wants to feel like they bought according to their own terms. So yeah, when it comes to your energy, people really like how honest you are, how down to earth you are, but how innocent you are. Yeah, I guess something about your honesty is refreshing and innocent. Group number 3, such a pleasure sharing this message with you. If you'd like to book a tarot reading with me, the link for that is in the description box below, along with the link to check out my Patreon, where I drop weekly pick a card readings. Before you go anywhere, please let me know you're here with me by dropping me a yellow heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.